Let's talk about arbitrage. Guys, arbitrage is one of the coolest things that we can do as an investor, and it's actually what most businesses are based on. Arbitrage, by definition, usually means buying and selling simultaneously in multiple different markets or exchanges in order to make a slight profit. Let's say you're trading something in the US market and also the European market. Let's say those things are slightly different prices. So maybe we're trading gold, right? Spot gold. Maybe this price of spot gold is slightly different in Europe than it is in the United States. So we can execute trades at the same exact time and make that difference as our own profit. So that right there is arbitrage. That's one example of arbitrage. Now, let's talk about how brick and mortar businesses are performing arbitrage. So think of a big box store, maybe like Walmart. All the products that are in Walmart, do you think they're buying them at the same price that they're selling to you? No, they're not. They're buying them for a steep discount by using a couple different strategies that they can use in order to get that discount, right? So whether it's supplier relationships, maybe they're just buying in bulk, right? So there's different things that they can do to manipulate their price to get it as low as possible. So they buy all these items in bulk, they buy them for super cheap, and then they're bringing them into their stores and displaying them for you. So of course that's going to include some additional expenses for them, the building rental, the real estate, the employees, whatever costs might be associated with that. They are definitely covered by the profits that they're making. So they make a certain amount of margin on each one of these products. Some are higher, some are lower. It really just depends on the product. But because they're selling at such high volume, they're able to generate massive returns. And so that's kind of the idea of arbitrage. So they're buying it low and they're selling it high. Now, some people have done something called retail arbitrage. What they'll do is they'll buy something at Walmart, right? Maybe they'll buy it for $1. And then they'll turn around and sell it on Amazon for $2. That right there is retail arbitrage. They just doubled their money. They found a way to turn $1 into $2. Now, if they do that a million times, hey, they just made $1 million. It might take some time to do that. There might be some expenses associated with it. But at the end of the day, if we're just looking at the gross numbers there, they bought it for $1, they sold it for $2. Let's talk about other types of arbitrage and how we can trigger arbitrage. So one way that we can trigger arbitrage is, again, back to my example, speed of execution. So if I have, let's say, $100,000 in a US account and $100,000 in a European account, and I'm buying and exchanging gold in both markets. If there's a slight price difference in exchanges, I can capitalize on that opportunity and execute trades on both at the same time and make money on that difference, right? So that's speed of execution. Another way that we can trigger arbitrage is by relationship. So back to the Walmart example. So for example, if I have a relationship with my suppliers as a big box store and I'm buying, let's say, $10 million of inventory every single month, do you think they value me as a customer? They probably really love me, right? And so if I ask them for a little favor and I'm like, hey, would you guys be able to mark the price down 5% for me this month? Can we just knock it down 5%? I mean, I'm doing 10 million a month with you guys, right? I'd like to do more business, but I need to mark that price down 5%. So a lot of times they'll be willing to do that and they'll give you that opportunity to make an additional 5% margin on your 10 million, which is what? 500,000. So you made literally $500,000 just by having that relationship right there. This can be used in many different scenarios. You could do it in real estate. It doesn't have to be a big box store. So an example could be real estate. If I have a relationship with a homeowner, maybe it's a business partner or an investor that I worked with before, and they really like me, they appreciate me, and they want to give me a good deal. So if they want to give me that property at a discounted rate, let's say it's worth 500,000 in a very inflated market, but they're willing to sell it to me for maybe 480,000. They're like, you know what, Austin, I'm not gonna overcharge you for this. I would feel like I'm overcharging you if I sell it to you for 500,000. So I think it's fair to sell it for 480,000 or 470,000. And I'm willing to do that for you because I feel like that's the right thing to do. And you can do whatever you want with it. You can buy it, you can live in it, you can sell it, you can improve upon it, right? So there's multiple options that they're giving me, and they want to sell it to me at a discounted rate because of the relationship that we had. People have different things in mind. Some people want to make money, some people don't really care about money. So you will always find people who are happy accepting a lower amount just because of a relationship with you. When you have an opportunity like that, you then have two options. Number one, you could just turn around and sell it on the spot, right? If you want to go through that process, you can make your 20,000 boom, you just arbitrage the house. Now, another way that we can do that is actually improving the house. So that's another way that we can trigger arbitrage. So let's say the homeowner was like, you know, Austin, I like you, but I'm not gonna sell it to you for 480,000. I'm gonna sell it to you for 500,000, what it's worth in this inflated market. So probably an upcharge, right? However, that doesn't block me from performing arbitrage. I can still arbitrage the house. All I have to do is add some value. So that's called forced appreciation, or in this case, it could be forced arbitrage. How do I do that? Well, maybe the house is in a warm state and it doesn't have a pool. The pool is gonna cost me X amount to put in. So as long as I'm getting more for that house than what I put into the pool, I'm happy with that, right? Maybe it needs a fence, maybe it needs some landscaping. So I'm gonna find ways to add value to this house so that when I sell it, I make more money back than I invested into it to increase the value of this house. That's the second way that we can do something like that. The final way that I'd say arbitrage is possible is really just volume of deals. Once you start getting bigger and bigger as a business owner, as an investor, you start doing a larger volume of deals. People are willing to give good rates and good deals to people who they work with often. So if you're buying 100 properties a month and you hire the same contractor for every single one of them to put that pool in, right? Or whatever it might be that you're improving on the house, they're gonna start probably giving you a better price on that pool as opposed to just buying one. And then with each pool, maybe it gets a little bit cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And so now this gives you another arbitrage opportunity because you are investing smaller amounts into each house and you're still getting that value boost from each one. So when you sell it, it's an arbitrage opportunity. So when and where you decide to sell it, when and where you decide to maybe reinvest into something else, this is an opportunity for you to create some arbitrage and make a profit, make some sort of profit margin on top of what you invested. Guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video.